Once upon a time, when you thought of a Maserati, perhaps you thought of this car, the Maserati Gran Turismo convertible, perhaps the Quattroporte, but not anymore. There's a new entry-level Maserati in town, right back there, the Ghibli. Think of it as a 5 Series fighter. And starting at just over $60,000, it's relatively affordable. That's coming up next from the Miami Auto Show on the Fast Lane Car.
Ghibli's a very special car. Maserati has a long tradition both in sports sedans and in the Gran Turismo, and the E segment is really where you find a lot of the more competitive product. With the Ghibli, we're moving into a much larger segment with a very active car that's a genuine Maserati. So the car has upwards of 404 horsepower and all-wheel drive trim. It has, as I mentioned, all-wheel drive. It's got easy space for 5, a large trunk, and it really brings the Maserati experience into everyday drivability, everyday usability, with that certain flair.
So people, if they're trying to place this car in the kind of the spectrum of the automobile, it's like a 5 Series? And that
yeah, one would think about a 5 Series, one would think about, let's say, a CLS, an A7, and if you look at sports sedans, Maserati really established what is the modern super sedan with the original Quattroporte in 1963. A racing engine, suspension, brakes in a sedan platform. And so this is the segment where you really find the majority of sports sedans. So the Quattroporte now is a little bit larger, still as sporty as ever, but the Ghibli, we believe, will bring us into a segment where people can experience the Maserati feeling and a genuine Italian Gran Turismo starting at just $65,000, a little bit over $65,000. What's really special about this car and what makes Maserati special is some of the partners that we have. The head of engine development for Maserati is a gentleman named Paolo Martinelli. In his last role, he was head of all engine development for the Ferrari Formula One team. Wow. And this came over the entire Schumacher era, so quite a bit of success there. The engine he designed is a gem. It's a 3-liter twin-turbo V6 in rear-wheel drive trim that gets 345 horsepower. In all-wheel drive, it gets 404 horsepower. At the same time, it's a very lively engine, the traditional beautiful Maserati exhaust note. But like with all Maseratis that we've had since 2001, since we brought them back, it's a car that can be driven every day and enjoyed, but when you put the spurs to it, it likes to go.
So what's the difference? I mean, what have they done? Just put more boost in the turbos to get that extra 54 horsepower? Yeah,
it's just different mapping.
Yeah.
You know, you have a little bit of, honestly, our all-wheel drive system is one of the lightest in the segment.
Make up for the extra
but
weight.
We wanted to give it a little bit of extra weight, and a little bit of a different feel so that you could have a car that comes in at a very competitive price point at $65,600. Base MSRP for the rear-wheel drive, but if you want all-wheel drive, or if you live in a market where previously you would want that feature and Maserati wasn't on your shopping list, it's now on your shopping list. And just this past month in October, when we introduced the all-wheel drive Quattroporte, we saw nearly triple sales than we had ever seen in the U.S. And we're very proud of that. Maserati is a brand that has a glorious tradition that in every way represents the best aspects of what an Italian Gran Turismo genuinely is. It's a car that has a very high threshold of performance, but should be luxurious, should be comfortable, a good host, and should always have that sense of occasion when you pull up.
And the crazy thing is, if you open that rear door, let me go over there, I want you to open it, you've got split seats, right?
Yes, we do. We're going to show you a little bit of our...
Yeah, look at this. Folding split seats.
We're in setup mode here, so yes.
So if you've got a family, or if you've got skis,
correct.
It fits.
Correct, yeah. That is the key thing, is that a lot of people have misconceptions about the cars not being practical, and this is a car that is practical in every way any of our competitors would be. The trunk volume is exceptional in this car. Once again, you've got split fold-down rear seats, so you're able to enjoy everything you dreamed about in a Maserati now at a much more attainable price.
That's right, BMW, you have some new Italian competition in both rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive. Now, speaking of Italian stallions, coming up next on the Fast Lane car, we've got the brand new, get this, Ferrari F12 Berlinetta coming from the Miami Auto Show. As always, this is Roman reporting for, the Fast Lane car. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Ciao, bella.